Hello, good evening. Welcome to Facebook Live. I had the misfortune yesterday of losing the recording that we did on our Tuesday night, Shine Like a Star. And so I wanted to record it because our sessions really build on each other and I don't want you to miss out on being able to look at that. So let's have some high-level discussion about what you missed last night, and I will be sure to trim this one the right way without deleting it. So my name is Carrie Burchell. I am the president of North Star Coaching. Our premise of the company is very much helping adults work well together. And the reality is our work would probably be a lot less stressful if it weren't for the people. Can I say that out loud? I do love my colleagues and I love the people I work with, and I appreciate that. Really getting that synergy of people working well together is just challenging, and that's my specialty, is I help people work well together. So in topics of helping people work well together, it's a crazy COVID time and people are tired. I was saying to a colleague today that I really think, once the vaccine comes out and things settle down, that we're just going to have this PTSD for a while, sort of working through some of the feelings and frustrations that COVID brings with it. And so these concepts that I'm pitching play that much more of a role in helping us navigate that and helping people move through some of those healing instances and work that they need to do. So without getting too philosophical, let's talk about today's session, which is how to use data to really leverage change. So high level, keeping you looped in on some of the earlier work that we've done, we've talked about how there's a couple of things that we need to keep in mind when we talk about change. One is shared need. The second is shared vision. And those things really help to sort of create that buy-in. So, shared need and shared vision. So when we think about that, it's tricky for me to actually hear what your need is because I just really want you to do it my way. Like, I know I'm right, humbly, of course. And I know that it's going to be better if we just did it my way. And so I've got to really ask myself, where is that overlap between my need and your need? And how do I get at that overlapping part of the Venn diagram? And sort of today's piece, adding on what we've done before, is that we get at this by adding data. Can't do the D's upside down for my B's. So if we use data to really highlight and drive that overlapping part there. So, a couple of just high-level examples that we talked about last night. I can say, gosh, I caught a really big fish. As a kid, my brother used to fly fish all the time. Still avid fisher today. And he'd come home and he'd say, Carrie, I got a great big fish. And I'd be like, meh. Right? Until he could show me data, like either the fish or a picture of him with the fish. Or one time I remember him cooking fish on a radiator of a car that overheated. Got a picture of that too. Okay, that's believable. I have data, right? So driving the data is one thing. And that's something that you need to think about in terms of what is important to both of you. So I presented at a conference this week with HR. And of course, we know between furloughs and job restructuring and industries shrinking and some growing in ways we didn't expect, there's just a lot of movement, and HRs across the country have been really busting their butt. And so I was in this conference and speaking about some of the initiatives that I'm really leading in different companies that I work with. And the idea was nobody on any of those calls across the country talked about getting more employees to do all this extra work, this different work. So let's say that I have a need to have more staff on my team. Well, let's say I go and I pitch that to my president. And I know that the company has been in a difficult spot financially because COVID is crazy. What's my president going to say? Not a happening, right? Well, then I've got to pull back and say, what is the shared need that my president might buy into that might help me advocate for the FTE, the staff that I really want? So let's say that we know moving forward, we're going to need to be more innovative. We're definitely going to need to be more agile. There's going to be some work to do around resilience just to kind of recover some of this stuff. There's certainly going to be work around observing whether or not the things we put in place are actually achieving what we think that they're going to achieve. I mean, it was tender in this HR conference that I spoke at. Everyone's trying to share what they're doing, but it was all more or less the same. Like none of us know any advantage over the other. We've all been in this kind of cesspool of chaos from the same amount of time. And so let's talk through what that looks like, right? More importantly, how do we grow other people that are innovative and open and thinking out of the box and all those kinds of things that come with advocating for what we need in the future. So if I say to my president, hey, let's do some leadership development work, and it's going to involve creating the kind of leader that we know is going to pull us through to our new reality that's going to thrive in this new setting, maybe the president might listen at least, right? I've created a bit of a shared need. I need more FTE to be able to spend the time developing people in the right way, and that might be enough to at least get the conversation going, right? And once there's that established need, then we can move towards a shared vision. And the other thing with data is sometimes we are just so happy to have something concrete in the face of all of this crazy change and things just being wild, that we grab a hold of data and we just drive it, hold it, keep it true. So I'll give you an example. I was working in one department this week, and I had a colleague who very wisely pointed out that yes, we did have some great data. We had surveyed 300 leaders in the organization, 48 responded, and of those 48, the number one thing that our leaders in this organization wanted development on was resilience. Everyone's brainstorming about how we can do more resilience, and the colleague wisely said, it's 8 people. Let's be honest. Yes, resilience matters. Yes, this is work that we need to do, and it was 8 people, right? So let's take that data with enough grain of salt, right? If I went to the president with this data from 48 people and said, oh my goodness, president, we need to build a leadership development program that's completely about resilience. Okay, give me the data. Well, we did the survey and our top response was resilience. Okay, how many people? 8. Right? So we need to be able to capture the data that tells a story that is compelling and not just kind of the sexy flair of whatever the current thing is. Resilience is sexy because heck, I'm tired, right? How do we build that up? So the continued work for us as we look at navigating our new reality is to be really intentional around what are the things that I like about COVID that I want to keep. And in turn, how can I get the data that's going to underscore, look at the value here. You may not even have structures in place to capture some of those real wins that you see out of COVID that you really want to keep. So be on the lookout, right? What structures can you put in place to gather that data? And then use that data to really create a shared need and a shared vision. So with that nugget, I'm going to leave you. My name is Carrie Burchell. I am the president of North Star Coaching. I do consultant work, speaking, presenting, webinars, you name it, on helping people really play well together in that sandbox. Because heck, we need to play more and we need to do it well together in really intentionally designing that new reality. And at the end of the day, I just want you to shine like a bright North Star. You're already the whole package. Looking forward to journeying with you, and have a wonderful day.